It looks like we are live. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And make sure, let's do a sound check, guys. Let's do a quick sound check. I'm going to make sure that before I kick this thing off, we have the sounds working. Anybody in the chat? Looks like we got one person watching us right now. Guys, if you can hear me, do me a favor, send me a one in the chat. And also, when you come into the chat too, make sure you hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. You know, live stream or StreamYard, I am just getting used to it. So today, it may be a bit of a struggle stream, guys. I'm going to do my best to make sure that it is not. But if you can hear me, make sure you put a one in the chat. I want to make sure that the sound is coming off just fine before we kick this thing off, guys. And it's good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's bright and early. I got my coffee. It's Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Central. A good time for us to just chat and talk it up. All right, we got a one in the chat. Tamara says she can actually hear us, so that's good news. Come on in, guys. Come on in. We got Tangeray that says he can hear us as well too. So that's a good thing. So that means we have started off right. The sounds is working just fine, as well as the my earpiece is working just fine. Tyrese is in the house as well too, man. What's up, guys? What's up? Thank you for joining me this morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is a Saturday morning, a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm catching you guys bright and early. We have a long day ahead of us today. We are on top of the show that we're doing today. My daughter she's not turning 7 today. She's actually turning 7 on the 15th of September. And no, she's not turning 7. Yeah, she's turning 7. Oh my gosh, man, she's getting big. And we're celebrating her birthday today. We're in the middle of Burnett County, which is northwest of Austin. And we're at a lake house right now. We're just going to celebrate it over the weekend. My family came into town, and I have a lot of stuff to do after the show. So I wanted to get in here early this morning to chop it up with you guys and to hear from you as well too. I think I'm gonna turn this into a live stream to get some of you guys' feedback. Tyrese, where you from, man? Tell me where you're from. Send me in the chat where you tuning in from. Tangeray, where you tuning in from? Tamara, I already know where you're tuning in from. It's early. This coffee is going to help me boost my energy. Looks like we got about 6 people in right now. It is 3 minutes after the 30-minute mark. Tyrese is from San Jose, California. You're in a beautiful part of the country. It's early by you, man. Man, it's 6:30 a.m. You catching the worm this morning, man. That's early. In San Jose, by the way, it's a beautiful part of the country. I'm sure you're probably, if you're up and at it, the weather is gorgeous. You're probably in a sweatshirt right now. And I wish I was in a sweatshirt, but unfortunately, I'm in a nice little t-shirt and I'm going to be sweating. So every once in a while, I'll be wiping my nose, drinking coffee, and sitting in this Texas heat. Tangeray is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Beautiful, beautiful part of the country as well, too. Tangeray, thanks for all your support. I really appreciate you. Tarvey Smith, man, it's in Tampa. Tampa is hot too, man, but beautiful part of the country. I've never been to Tampa. I've been to many places in the country, but I've never been to Tampa. I hear nothing but good things about Tampa. You probably are experiencing some of this humidity and some of this heat as well. So let me get started. Looks like we got a good little crowd here. And again, guys, this may be a struggle stream. So if it is a struggle stream, just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. We'll figure it out. We're going to have some fun this morning. But Doug, what's happening, man? What is happening? Doug is in the house as well, too. So let us get started, guys. It is the, 20th anniversary of September 11th, right? And I just remember where I was at that point in time when this all occurred. I was a freshman in college, by the way. This was in 2000, right? I was a freshman, or was it 2001? I was a freshman in college. And I was in the library at that point in time. And I just remember going back to my dorm room, and my buddy Darcelis and I shared a dorm room. So I walk in, and he has a TV on. We had a small little colored TV, and we're watching, the smoke come from out of the towers. So we're all gathered around the TV, and next thing you know, one of our resident assistants comes into our room and starts watching it with us as well, and said, "Hey guys, you're not going back to class." So I was on a lunch break, right, just to come home and get a nice little snack, and I ended up not going back to school that day. Not only did I not go back to school that day, I watched everything that was going on in the news, and what just this was something, and this is something that's going to be forever in my memory. And the reason why I did the show today is because I was actually in college at that point in time. And in my college experiences, I got an opportunity to meet some absolutely fantastic guys, right? And this show today is really to talk about is college a scam? You got a lot of people out there from entertainers, rappers. You got people who have gone to college. You have people who are influencers on social media that talks about college being a scam. And I'm going to be here I wanted to come here today to share with you and get your guys' opinion on this as well too. So I'll share my story about college and blind guy, his wife, and their life. I'll share my story about college and my experiences. But before I do that, I want you guys to hear what some people are saying about their college experience. And I'll play a little bit of a clip from Bandman Kevo, entertainer. I don't know him from anybody else, but I came across a video on yesterday when I thought about doing the show just to see how much of influence that entertainers have. And I'll play that for you real quick. But before we do that, I'm going to jump over to the chats. Kevo's in the house, Blind Guy, his wife, and their life's in the house. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Blind Guy, his wife, and their life, go ahead and do so. Beautiful, beautiful couple. Great channel. I was actually had an opportunity to jump on their live stream yesterday. For the first time, I had no idea that they had a channel. And then all of a sudden, I went to the channel after seeing a comment of theirs, and they are an absolute beautiful couple that talks about development. And yesterday they had a show on starting a YouTube channel, and they had some top influencers that are in the game, giving the game about how you can level up on your live streams and on your YouTube channel to grow it, right? To grow your business and to create a brand for yourself. And it was an absolutely a wonderful show. Their production is not like my production that I have today. Their production is actually world class. I felt like I was actually on a show. So guys, fantastic job that you did yesterday. I love the commentary. I love the back and forth between husband and wife. It was a beautiful thing. And I love the game that TLA was given and El Guapo as well too. And the fact that you guys really do have a lot of supporters out there. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to Blind Guy, his wife, and their life, go ahead and jump over to their YouTube stream. Dimitri says college is not a scam. It's a horrible advice to say otherwise. I agree with you, man. But that's not what some people are saying. So let's jump over to this video, guys. I'm going to share a clip of this video, and I want to put it in the context of this, right? He's saying something, and I want to see if what he's actually saying does make sense, and then I'll jump into my perspective on it. So guys, if you can see my screen, I'm sure you can at this point in time, and I'm sure you can probably hear it as well too. Let me do this. Let me stop sharing my screen first. Let me share it again. I want to make sure that you guys are going to be able to see this or hear the sound as well. So there's something that I know in Restream that you need to do in order for people to hear the sound. So let's jump over to it. And this is a video that Bandman Kevo did with Say Cheese, which is another entertainment channel that's out there. So let's listen to it real fast.
Now it's funny that we talk about college, because 10 years ago, when people 10 years ago, it was different. People used to, like parents and people used to value college.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 09, 08, because I graduated 08. People value college. So I used to lie and tell people I was in college.
Yeah.
Because I was real good at basketball, and a lot of people thought, college, pro, the dream, whatever. But I didn't go. I started working for my father.
Yeah.
And people would ask me, yo, what college you go to? Because I was just good in basketball, and I used to lie. Because 10 years ago, when you were in college, people
You
looked
look
at
down
you.
on. Look down
Definitely.
on.
Nowadays, it's different.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
change.
it's a scam. And
People are getting more smarter now.
Yeah.
They're starting to figure out that, damn, why is out of all these generations, why is people still at 3 years after college is just working at Target or Arby's or something like that? They're figuring it out. But me, exactly what you're talking about, I did the same thing. I ended up getting a fake high school diploma, a fake college degree. You get what I'm saying? Because I dropped out of high school, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ended up getting all that and still getting what I wanted. I was stunned on people with the fake shit. Then that's what made me knew the real was a scam, because I'm just like, damn, it's a certificate? That's it?
Yeah,
So then I knew, like,
bro,
come
it's
on,
like
bro.
when I graduated high school and I started working at the warehouse,
Yeah.
I was working with people who, you know what I'm saying, who didn't even graduate. And I graduated high school and I'm working with people who didn't even graduate. Get past ninth
And
grade.
I'm pretty sure when you was working there, you seen a lot of turnover.
I've seen a lot of turnovers.
You
for
feel me?
sure.
So that just tells you they treat you like, nothing. And they trick you to say, oh, well, 401k and insurance, you can go do all that yourself. You don't need a job for that.
Yeah.
You can go take your body and go in the store, in a place and get insurance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they just feel like, oh, I need a job. That's the first thing people used to say, yeah, well, I can get benefits. And this, anywhere you go, you get benefits. You can get benefits without a job.
Yeah. What grade in high school did you stop taking school seriously?
I ain't gonna lie, 10th grade.
10th grade.
Yep, 10th grade.
Dumb.
I just was like, fuck school, man.
Like,
I said, this shit is dumb. The shit is in the books. I'm looking inside of the books like, I don't understand how the hell this finna help my life.
Yeah.
Like reading about this weird ass nigga that went over seas on a ship and boat. I'm like, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I'm cool with school.
I still, even with like algebra and all that shit, like we still don't use a pi plus y equals x and 7. Like,
I don't know.
10 years out of high school, I've still never.
Me either. I was just like, man, I said this shit is I knew it was a scam then, bro.
Yeah.
I knew it was a scam then, bro.
So you made a fake high school?
I made a fake high school diploma. I made a fake college degree, and they had transcripts. They had transcripts with it.
Yeah.
Whole and a number verification. That's when I started really like, oh yeah, I'm finna, whatever this lane is, this world is, I need to be in this world, because this the winning world. Because I feel like then I started looking at people different. I'm like, damn, maybe everybody doing this. I didn't trust nobody after that. I'm just like, how do I know hers? Because you will see a person that's a RNA, right? Or like a top grade nurse, then her daughter right with her. I'm like, man, there's some shicey fake shit going on. But you don't know though. You don't know if, you know what I'm saying? But how she so young, working right next to, they both getting $200,000-300,000 a year.
Yeah. What kind of grades were you making in high school?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was a class clown, bro.
All right, so that's about enough. Let me stop sharing here. So you guys, I think you guys see the context here. You see the context. You have an entertainer who has this video, by the way, has over 200,000 views on it. And if you go to his channel, he has over 300,000 subs, right? So obviously he's a heavy influencer to the community. He's a heavy influencer to a lot of people, right? And he's basically telling a lot of people that, college is a scam, and he has it in his own perspective. And we're going to listen to his perspective. His perspective is that people, in his experience, that people who go to college, are still working in Walmarts and Targets and working in warehouses and distribution centers. And that's the case, guys. I must say this for some people, but you got to remember what kind of degrees these people have. And we have to think about that from a context perspective. And that's what I'm getting ready to get into right now. So let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about this. So I want to talk about, it's a dangerous message, Doug. You're absolutely right, but some validity as well. I agree. And that's where I want you guys to jump on here today, and we're going to chop it up, because I want you guys to share your experiences with me as well about your college experience. But before that, I'm just going to share with you guys, why I think college is worth it, because I do think college is worth it. Now, of course, on this channel, we talk about specific types of degrees. And I think that's the context that we need to put this in. Specific types of degrees allows for people to pay off their debts early, allows for people to make millions of dollars, allows for people to become millionaires like myself, allows for people to have successful families and things like that, and puts people in positions that they wouldn't have otherwise gotten if they would not have gone to college. So I wrote down some notes here. And I'm going to just go through some of my notes about why I think college is worth it. Right. And one, we talk about it all the time. People in college earn more, right? People with a college degree absolutely earn more. And I think in his context, he actually even said that as well with the person who's an RN, right? And he said they're making $200,000, $300,000 a year. So typically, if you have a degree, you're going to make more. And, you know, that's an agreement that we do have. And I would say this. The other one is college is a ticket out of poverty for a lot of people. You think about all the athletes, and you think about all of the, you know, people who are growing up in rural communities and things like that. When they typically go to college, I know a lot of people who have gone to college and have really not looked back. And, you know, obviously I didn't come from out of poverty, but I didn't come from a family that was wealthy at all. I mean, we were probably middle class or just below middle class, but college gave me an opportunity to, you know, become the guy that I am right now. Right. So it is a ticket out of poverty. Athletics perspective, if these guys wouldn't be going to these colleges, and I know there's a system that exists, if these guys wouldn't be going to these schools, they wouldn't have a lot of other opportunities that exist out there, because there isn't other avenues for you to bypass college and to get to a successful level in life, whether it is you go to a professional level or you use your academics to go on to become somebody, or to go on to become something else in life, right? And to meet people where you can then have additional opportunities. And I say this, another point that I have here is that the number of jobs requiring university and college degrees continue to grow. And that's across the world, guys. That is absolutely across the world. So, you know, if you think about it, the top 30 jobs that exist out there in the US that's in high demand, I would probably say about 84, 85% of them need or require a college degree. 84 or 85%, let's just say 85% require a college degree. I would say this, right? And he even brought this on himself. Jobs demanding college degrees come with additional benefits. Okay. Yes, jobs require college degrees does come with additional benefits. For example, right, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to have a good $300,000 in cash if I wouldn't have gone to college and started working for a company that went an IPO this year. Okay, so if you guys know, if you work for a tech company, a software company, or anything like that, and you end up getting shares with that company, and they end up going public, and your shares hit the market, you can make a lot of money. That was some success and some advancements that I've had in my life, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I wouldn't have gone to college, right? So you definitely get additional benefits. 401ks and all of the other stuff, Roth IRAs, those are things that you can set up outside of going to college yourself. However, you're not going to get educated on this stuff if you aren't in a professional setting that requires typically a college job. Okay, here's another thing. College life makes you more mature and responsible. I was a freshman. I left Madison, Wisconsin, and I went to Florida Atlantic by myself. Spent an entire summer, right, going through a summer program by myself, had my own apartment and so forth. I learned a lot. I learned that I only like living by myself. I learned that that you know, deli meat is a good choice for dinners and lunches and for breakfast as well too. I learned that white bread is absolutely perfect with a little bit of ham and mustard, right? I learned a lot. I learned that if you don't have money for gas, you aren't going anywhere, right? And you know, if you don't have money for food, you have to really ration the amount of food that you can actually get. So it matures you a lot as well too, and it forces you to become a man in essence as a male. Also learn that you know, college itself means networking, right? It means making connections with friends. For example, my freshman year, after my summer program that I had where I lived by myself, I moved into a dorm room where I had a roommate. His name is Darcellus Reed, and he may even be on the show today. And along with Darcellus, in the next pod over was my brother Erwin and Kenny. And these guys are going to be at my daughter's party today, right? So, and guess what, guys? These guys are the same guys that we're going into real estate deals in next year, as well as we've already signed a deal or worked on a deal together in Toledo, Ohio already, right? And if I wouldn't have had that opportunity to have a good group of brothers who I can network with, call the phone, pick up the phone at any point in time to work with, to level set on, to gain knowledge, to grow with, and so forth, if I wouldn't have gone to college, right? And I say this, another thing, going and getting my MBA, right? It was one of the best opportunities that I got in my life. It was after or during the MBA program. And it was because I always was looking to go overseas and to become a GM and to lead a country. And one of the things about, going and getting an MBA is you're going to be around a lot of executives that maybe have done this type of work before. And I was ambitious to do this, right? And, I remember going through the recruiting process and working with career counseling. And they helped me with my resume, they helped me with the interviews, and helped me with all this other stuff. And I was able to land, a $170,000 job, right, before college ended, which paid significantly and also gave me the opportunity to gain this equity that I just talked about, as well as, move over to another country to become a GM, right? And I say this because college and university prepared me for this type of a situation. It was an opportunity. It was an opportunity that I took advantage of. And also, not only that, it gives you an opportunity to explore different cities, different regions, different countries, different cultures, all that, right? Like, I have a dynamic group of friends, from people who are, Muslim, from me living into Malaysia and traveling to, Indonesia and Sri Lanka, to people who are, Christian and Buddhist and all this, right? I have a dynamic group of friends of different religions, different ethnicities, and so forth. And really, to be quite honest with you, it happened because, guys, I went to college, right? It happened because I went to college. So to hear somebody, say that, college isn't worth it, and college is a scam, to some people, there are some points and some validity to it. But if you are a person that is on your path, and that's the thing, information is out there, and it's out there for all of us. If you are a person that does the research and understand that if you go down this path, let's just say it's the left path, and that's the science, the technology, the engineering and the math, right? If you go down that path, and if you go into healthcare and you go into some sort of business degree, you're going down a path that's going to give you an ample amount of opportunities in your life that you would not have otherwise had ever in your life. And if you don't go down that path, right, there is an opportunity that you may end up working as a barista at Starbucks, or working at Kmart, or working at, Walgreens. And there's nothing wrong with that. But typically, when most people go to college, they're looking to get themselves further ahead, not be on the same playing field as they are or as they were after graduating high school. So, guys, that's what I wanted to share with you all. And I want to get you guys feedback on this, right? I want to get you guys feedback on this and see what the comments are saying at this point in time. We got Kev Mo. He said, scratching my head, I use math every day of the week. I use math every single day of the week as well, too. And I seriously do. Now, it is simple math, and I do agree. It isn't pi. It isn't, 3.14 or any of that stuff. I never use any of that stuff after college. Now, as a developer, a software engineer, you're absolutely going to have to use some math, because there are algorithms and there are loops, and you're going to have to understand how math works, and you want to do it relatively fast because you're under a time crunch. But typically, the math that you use in the real world is simple math, guys. It is simple math. Professor Black Ops, what is happening, man? Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in this morning. We got Tyrese. Exactly. Degree is important. Doug says, right. Tiffany Way says, totally agree. I think college is worth it depending on the degree. Kev Mo says, STEM field definitely benefited me. And I want to get you guys on. I'm going to drop a link in the chat, because I want you guys to come on and share your stories as well. And if there are rebuttals to what I said, right? If there are people on here that do think that college is a scam, come on here and share it, right? I want you guys to, this isn't an argument. This is just a discussion for me to learn, right? And for me to hear other sides of it as well, too. But, me going down my lane, me going down the path that I've gone down, I wouldn't have had this amount of success if I wouldn't have gone to college. And if I was to compare myself to friends that I've had and family members that I have that have not gone to college, right? The levels of earning or the earning opportunities that I am getting in my life far exceeds what they have gotten just about you can probably almost say in their entire life, right? And I can typically do that in a year or two, right? The earning potential that I have compared to them, the quality of living that I have compared to them. And that's not bragging or anything like that. It's just what you see visually. So guys, I personally think college is important. Tyrese says, I agree, Uncle Ant. Hand sanitizer. Nursing is gold. Nursing is gold. To good money. LP and RNPA. Absolutely. Nursing is that field where there is always going to be a need. And one of the things is nursing. They get paid a lot, especially traveling nurses. But they also are on the front line as well too. But you always are going to have an opportunity to be employed. You always want to have an opportunity to make a good amount of money and to live a successful life. And if you choose to invest your money, properly, right, you don't have to be in the nursing game forever. That's the thing, right? It's a career that gives you a earning potential that far exceeds the average median wage in the United States. And you can use that money wisely to do something else later on in life, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, and so forth. If you choose to go on a path to invest it the correct way and really get away from that field. So absolutely, nursing is fantastic. You got Doug, who put up the blind guy and their wife, their YouTube channel. I love these guys, man. They're absolutely a fantastic couple, guys. You got hand sanitizer says facts on the shares. I pocketed like $3K from my last company on the exit. That's it, guys. I mean, that's it. If my company didn't go IPO this year, I had over 80,000 shares right when IPO this year. Yeah, I made a lot of money. I made an absolute lot of money. And I wouldn't have got that opportunity to even know about equity and how to ask for equity if I wouldn't have gone to college, right? A blind guy, their wife says, I'm a nurse and I'm also a storyteller. There are degrees for both, but I wouldn't chance buying a fake nursing degree. Yeah, no. I think people are sophisticated enough to be able to sniff that out. Now, maybe jobs that that don't do a lot of background and jobs in rural areas, they may not do that level of research to find out if it's right or not, or if your degree is accurate or not. I know there's a lot of people that exist out there that may do have some fake degrees, right? I think you read about that every once in a while on the news, right? Where people have fake degrees and they end up making it all the way up to CEO and so forth. But I think that's not just a fake degree. I think that's a level of ambition as well too. Right, Hanton said would have been 8K, but I was dumb and sold after COVID. Yeah. Stylish Mo, Stylish Heart, they're from Atlanta. They're sitting. Thanks for tuning in, my man. Thank you for tuning in. Blind guy's wife in their life says facts. I'm amazed at grown people getting storytelling degrees because it's related to the starving artist life with a lot of limitations. I've never been limited as an LP and hand sanitizer. They were chatting with the group, guys. Mental Agility says, if you're not the smartest or great athlete to get into college on a free ride, just give the military 3 years and they would pay for it. It's a win-win situation. You have a job and free education. You're absolutely right. That's another avenue, mental agility. That is another avenue that we haven't even got to. But even going into the military, right? The military understands that education is important to where they allow the folks who get into the military to have free education. You're absolutely right. I have a brother of mine who's been in the military for 19 years. And literally he's done. And he's done by the age of 36. He's actually younger than me, right? But he's going to stay on for another 3 or 4 years, right? To, max out his earning potential. But he's going to be done by the age of 41, right? And he's gone back to school to get his bachelor's from Milwaukee. He also has gone back to get his master's as well, too, while in the military. A fantastic one, mental agility. And if you are in the military and you want to come on and talk about that, come on in and share it. I'll drop the link in a bit. I want to go through some of these chats and I want to get you guys' perspective on it as well. If it's a scam, And it's how come only a few successfully complete while others absolutely fall for it and become debtors. Let's just say, hey, man, hey, there are some people that go to college and they go to college for degrees that are absolutely worthless, right? And these are the degrees that people shouldn't be investing in. And it could be, things like anthropology, right? Things like archaeology. These are degrees that really aren't going to pay you more than the median average wage. And the degree actually costs a lot more than what that is. So in that essence, college may be a scam, but there is something to learn from doing these degrees. You're going to meet the people, right? You're just not going to make the money. Now, the thing is if you are in, these sorts of degrees and you're looking to come out having a job like this, what skill sets did you learn in college that can translate to something else? I think a lot of people who end up going to college to get these degrees, a lot of them still lack ambition. A lot of them still lack drive. A lot of them, may be lacking in other areas of their life to where they can't create opportunities, right? So I could be off on that, but I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about that. Callie Grail says, growing up in Memphis, I've seen how not having a degree could impact you. For me, it was the right choice. You know what? Absolutely. Memphis is a interesting city. I spent a lot of time in South Haven, Mississippi. And you're right. I was in the warehouse. And for the folks who, didn't have the degrees, they're the ones that were forklift drivers a lot of the times, right? They weren't the people that were, in the back office doing the accounting work or doing the system analysis that we had and we needed help with when we were implementing a warehouse management system, right? The folks who were, didn't have the degrees, they were, climbing the ladders in lower wage jobs that was actually inside the warehouse, median pickers and stuff like that. Let's see what else. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. Barista, I agree, my brother. They also use grant money to pay for rent, just trinkets, right? And a lot of people, they just don't get it. They think college is an opportunity for them to get money and to go out there and take on all this debt. And a lot of people think about this, right? When you go to college, we make some dumb decisions. At the end of the day, we do make some dumb decisions. We are in a funnel of, credit cards and student loan debt and grants and all this other stuff where you're going to be getting money that you've never seen before. And what does the average person do with money that they haven't seen before? They go out there and spend it. For example, me in my freshman year, right? My mom gave me a Mazda 626 to go to school with. So I'm in South Florida, have a 99 Mazda 626, and this is in 2000, right? Well, I graduated in 2001, so this is 2001, same year of September 11th. I have a 99 Mazda 626 that is absolutely great, right? The guy around car that has a nice car, and it was basic and so forth. But getting student loan debt or getting student loans and getting grant money and getting, somewhat of a partial scholarship. I had excess money, when my financial aid hit to do other things. What did I do? I was that guy that went out and got the illumination in the lights right inside the vehicle, right where my car was. On the inside of the car, when you open it up, it was all red. I went and got a muffler because I thought it was like, would it be part of the Fast and Furious crew, right? All that stuff was things that I did, and I blew that money. And I think a lot of people, what ends up happening is they go to school and get these degrees, they get a whole bunch of financial aid, they spend that money on boyfriends going out to eat because they never experienced that before, and then they graduate, they don't need to do anything else while they're working, and they end up going in debt. Then they end up going home in some of these rural areas and working at Kmart, working at Walgreens, working at Starbucks as a barista, like working at the ice cream shop. When you drive through, you'd be like, hey, an ice cream, and you're looking at the person that you went to high school with. You're like, damn, like did they go to college? Did they go to college? Look the same, because a lot of them just end up eating themselves into a different body style, a different body shape, right? And so guys, it's, I think I was important. I'm going to do this. I want you guys to come on and tell your story. Let me see how I can invite, you guys to chat to come on here and tell your story, because I want to hear it. I want to hear it, guys. I want to hear you guys talk about what your experiences are. And I want for you to share what your experiences is like. And for the people who think that college is a scam, come on and share with the audience why you think college is a scam. I definitely want to hear that because I may not be thinking the correct way on certain aspects of it, but I do think that, you know, as a man who takes responsibility for every aspect of his life, and I know there's certain things that you can't control, but the things that you can control are the decisions that you make. And a lot of the people in the situations that they're in after going to college, they have opportunities to research. They have opportunities, especially now they have opportunities to research. I think I shared the story with you guys. My niece was going to go to school for political science. And I think political science is a fantastic major, but it doesn't pay very well if you're not going to go down a certain lane. And she wants to be a lawyer, and it's going to take some time for her to become a lawyer, right? So, you know, I share with her what we talk about on the channel a lot of times: tax space, management information systems, the different types of careers that you can go down and where you can make six figures almost instantly after you graduate or while you're in the middle of graduating. So, guys, I have dropped a link in here. I want you guys to share your experiences. Come on and chop it up with your boy for a bit. I only have another 20-something minutes before the wife is going to send me on some errands to go out there and get some party stuff for my daughter. We're here celebrating my daughter's 7th birthday. We're having a bunch of people over. Good friends of mine who I met in college, who I've had an opportunity to break bread with, who I had an opportunity to meet their families and, you know, build a beautiful life with. So I want to hear from you guys about what your experiences are when it comes down to going to college. If you think, you know, people like Bandman, Evo are really sending the right message. Are they really sending the right message to a generation that actually follows this stuff, right? Are there other ways where you can make money and have a great way of living? Yes, there are other ways you can do it, right? There is the blue collar line where you can actually go into the trades, and I love that. There's the military lines. There's, you know, entrepreneurship. But the majority of people aren't capable to make it without education, right? The majority of people don't even have family members who can help educate them, or don't have the ambition to educate themselves to make it, right? You have the rares. You have the people who go to college and have dropped out and who are billionaires today. They aren't even in our spectrum a lot of the times of people that we know. They're not even in the spectrum of how we think as people a lot of the times. These are people who come from a strong foundation of family, and they have gotten the game early and said, you know what, if I can do this without having to finish a degree and put my time and effort in these certain things. I'm talking about like the Zuckerbergs and the Bill Gates and all those guys. These guys come from families who are well educated, right? They dropped out because they could afford to, right? They dropped out because they had the resources that was going to support their dreams and their ideas. But you have a lot of people say, oh, gosh, you can become a billionaire. You can create this and this and this. And, you know, the reality of it is that's not us. That's not the majority of people. It doesn't matter what race, what ethnicity you are. You could be from India, from Sri Lanka, from Malaysia. You can be from any part of the world. That's not the majority of people, guys. Let's see. Who do we have here? We have we got the chat going. Great show over coffee. Thanks, brother. Tangeray, I appreciate you, man. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. You always dropping the super chats, man. I you know, it's for the coffee, and my coffee is cold. I probably should ask my wife if she can bring me another cup, but I think she's doing too much stuff in the house right now. Omega says, I've gained more experience and money working with the Republican side of my family. Oh man, you're getting into politics now, man. Don't make me start on that one, Omega. Don't make me start on that one, man. You know what? I'm not going to share my political views. I'm not going to do that. That's not what this channel is about. But if you and I were sitting down and having some coffee, boy, we can chop it up. We can chop it up. And I have my breakfast cigar that I haven't lit up because I'm not going to do that just now. But we can chop that up, man. We can certainly chop it up. I've always wondered why my Democratic side of the family hates Republican side so much. Stop it. You got to stop it, man. Don't don't do that, right? There's different views, and the best thing that I can say is this: is every side has a side, and every side has some validity to its side. But does every side really have the experience to have the validity to the side? There's a lot of people who have sides on things that really haven't experienced it, right? And I typically tend to go down the side of how my life experience have been. You know, taking control of your own life, being responsible for your own destiny, being accountable for the decisions that you make, whether that's going to college or not going to college, right? Going to college, I could have been a bum. There's a lot of people that I know who graduated with the same type of degree, right? And still are bums today, right? That's a choice, right? That's a choice to be that, right? And I personally think people do have some validity to the things that they, that they think. But a lot of people, when it comes down to certain views, they're just listening people from talking points that don't necessarily line up with their experiences in life. My boy Gabe is in the house, man. Good morning, Gabe. Good morning. Cheers to you, brother. We're just having a little small coffee talk about if college is a scam. And I've dropped it. Oh, so Rich actually came on and hey, Rich, we got somebody in here, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I got to make sure that my network, so device is not connected. Rich tried to come on just now. Try to jump back into the stream, Rich, if you can, because I'd love to hear from you and bring you into the chat. For some reason, it is saying you are required all guests to log in. Okay, there you go. There's Rich. Let me do this real fast, Rich. I want to hear from you. Give me a minute. Can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. Rich, can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Good morning, man. How are you, man?
Hey, good. Doing laundry right now.
Man, and you got the mask on. Why are you doing laundry with the mask on this morning, my man?
No. I just came from downstairs, so.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, so you already know when you're out and about. When you're out and about, that's what you got to do, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
You, man.
Sorry about that.
I'm doing fantastic, man. So what do you have for the show today, man? What do you have for us?
So I'm gonna definitely agree with you as far as like, look, I get what people say. Yes, if you pick the wrong field, college is gonna be terrible for you. Don't pick no political science. Don't pick like random stuff like I don't know, like art or whatever, unless you're like really blessed and you're a talented artist. And if you do that, you gotta leverage it. You gotta become a graphic designer. And even if you're like, because for instance, I'll give you a good story. So my girlfriend's sister, she actually, she's a really good artist, but she's not really into doing like, graphic design type stuff. She wants to draw characters, build video games, etc. But I always told her the real money is making like, billboards, etc. I was like, look, do that first. Do something that you don't like while you stack up your money. And then eventually you're going to be able to do things you like. You can get into game design, etc. But you got to be smart about things. Me, I got in STEM. I'm a programmer. I actually went from being a broke mofo, sleeping on couches for most of my life. I was sleeping on couches for 13 years of my life. Like most of my life.
No way.
Mad years, bro. Like sleeping on my grandmother's couch, other people's couch, and I was literally like drinking, doing all these crazy things, man. Getting into trouble. And then finally I told myself, I was like, I got to whip myself into shape. I was going to eviction court, everything, like, trying to help stop my grandmother from getting kicked out of her house. She passed, rest in peace or whatever. But anyway, eventually, I got into STEM. I started making like real money from being a janitor. I was a janitor and then working from nursing home to a nursing home. And then eventually I got to the point where now I'm a full stack developer. And then eventually I just recently got a job as a mobile app developer. So I make mobile apps now.
Nice.
All I'll tell you is that, yeah, exactly. I went from making like 12 to 15K to making like 100 plus. And, it just shows you how, like, if you pick the right field, you're going to make money. And sometimes the money's not going to be perfect, obviously, right? But you have to keep working at that field, stack your money, do investments, get into crypto now because it's early. Make wise decisions. Don't make emotional decisions. Just put money in there. Hold that shit forever. Hold that shit forever. But at the end of the day, like, look, college can be a scam if you pick the wrong careers and you don't leverage it correctly. Pick STEM careers or pick something you're interested in, but make sure that there's a future and make sure that you can actually earn money or that you can freelance. this is what and somebody told me this a long time ago when I was younger. They had said a big indicator of knowing that if a career is good or valuable is if you could freelance. As you said, like the traveling nurses, people do that.
Yep.
You could always freelance yourself and make extra money. Art, if you're really good at it, IT, etc. If you can make money on the side, it's always a good field. And even if you don't like something 100%, pick it, and then you can always change your field. One thing I always say that people never do.
That's
they
important.
never say
That's
exactly. They never say that, oh, you know, this might be your first step, your first career. Like, no career is like permanent. You might say, hey, I know people who are LPNs and then they got into tech. I know people who are in the reverse. I know a Silicon Valley CEO who had like 15, 16 careers in his life. It's like, don't feel like you're stuck just because you went to college for that one career.
Yep. I agree wholeheartedly, Rich, man. I agree wholeheartedly. And here's the thing, right? Your story is an amazing story, right? And you tell me this, like, what was that switch for you, Rich? You know, you've been, you know, obviously going from house to house. What made you decide that you wanted to say, you know what, I want better. What's better for me, and choose to go into STEM? I'm assuming you were a computer science, software engineering. What did you end up majoring in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, computer science.
Okay, yeah. So what was that switching point? Like, why did you do it?
So I would say the switch that kind of made me, well, one thing, you know, I was getting into trouble. I was basically an alcoholic. I was drinking a lot, just getting into trouble. And like, I had got a court case. And after the court case, the judge had let me slide. They were like, oh, you know, I'm gonna let you slide, you know, but if you get into trouble again, that's gonna be ass. And those exact words. They were like, yo, this is your third strike, so you better stop. And, you know, from then on, and also my grandmother passing, she kind of like inspired me, and I always told myself like, damn, like, you know, I couldn't be anything. I wasn't shit before my grandmother, you know, like while my grandmother was on the earth. So, you know, she's gone. I'm going to have to like make something of myself, you know, at least for her to kind of look down and be like, damn, you know, at least he changed his ways. He's not like a piece of shit anymore. Like, so, you know, that helped me a lot. And also too, surrounding myself with the right people. Yeah, exactly. And surrounding myself with the right people, because, you know, I was hanging out with gangbangers, you know, all sorts of crazy people who, you know, wasn't good for me. And they always say, you know, you're only as good as your 5 closest friends.
Don't tell them again, man. Don't tell them again one more time, Rich, man. You're only as good as what?
You're only as good as your 5 closest friends. You know, if you're hanging with people who's not about shit, you're gonna be shit.
I appreciate you for coming on, my man, and sharing that story, because that's just another testimony that, hey, you know what? Like, I wasn't into college and I wasn't really doing much, and I didn't have a path. And then you end up going to college and you end up becoming a mobile developer, right? And something that you said that really resonates is that, you know, here's the thing, right? You go to college, you pick a career. You can pick a career like management information systems. Your first job could be a systems analyst. You're not going to be a systems analyst the majority of your life. You can become a CEO. You can become a registered nurse. Like you said, there's multiple paths. I can tell you this. I've changed, not careers, I've changed jobs almost every 2.5 years because I get bored, right? So I'm always looking for something to do along the line within my career. And traditionally, what it is where the money is, right? So I'm like, okay, well, if I want to do this, I want to do this. Why not? Why not do that, right? And like you said, 100%. If you do something you don't like it, you can always do something else, man. I appreciate you, Rich, for coming on, my man. Thank you so much for sharing your story, man.
Exactly. And the last thing I'll say is that, look, at the end of the day, it's like, it's all about how you spend your time. We all have that same 24 hours in the day. So even for me, I work, I do my stuff, but I also have my projects that I'm brewing and, you know, daydreaming about and actually practically planning. Get yourself a project planning book. Like, yo, write down your plans, make yourself stick to a schedule, you know, get up every day. Get up every day early. The earlier you get up, the more productive you're going to be. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I do my gym routine or whatever. You know, I'm trying to lose weight. But at the end of the day, get your schedule together. You know, anyone who doesn't have a plan, you fail a plan, your plan's going to fail. Fact, that's all. Get that planner.
I appreciate that. You're absolutely right. I mean, that's how I run my day. I wake up. And I look at all the things that are on my agenda. The first thing is to at least do my 100 push-ups in a day, and in my 20 leg list, because I'm not able to go to the gym because of my Achilles injury. Well, I can't go to the gym, but I can do a lot, right? So you're absolutely right. Write it down, see through it, be productive, wake up early. It's a fantastic thing, man. I appreciate you, man, so much, man. Thank you so much for coming in, Rich, and telling your story,
brother.
All right, man. Thank you so much for coming through, bro. Yeah, see, we have another one that came in that shared his story that talked about the opportunities that he's had in his life and how he was able to change his life. Right. A lot of people will follow gentlemen like our man Bandman Kivo, and it's his experience. And I don't think he's saying things like this out of, to set people back, because, obviously he's been able to make it. But there's, to every one Bandman Kivo who's a millionaire, there are 20 of us who are millionaires who went to college, right? So it's what message do you want to hear? And my whole goal today was to share with you guys, that college is worth it. And when you do choose to go to college, you need to go down a path that's actually going to, allow for you to make money. And that comes by doing things like researching. And it, the information is out there. You type in what are the most valuable careers, what are the best majors. Go down a path. Go down a path of that. Look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They have the information out there for you to show you what are the trends in life, what are the trends in economic growth and all that stuff, right? And if you choose to go down a path that's different, is college really a scam? And that's something Brother Richard said. He said college can't be a scam. My question for you is this: scams. The definition of scam is I'm going to look up the actual definition of a scam, because, I want to make sure that the word is used in the correct context. And the definition of scam is a fraud. So are schools or colleges really actually a scam? Are they frauding people? Are they frauding people? Or are they giving people opportunities and people are choosing and making bad decisions? Right. And that's something that is arguably that's something that you can argue, right? Is it actually a scam based on the definition of it? Are colleges frauding people? Now, I know there are schools out there that's promising people that have, accreditations and all this other stuff, and they aren't worth crap, right? We're not talking about Trump University. We're not talking about some of the other ones that exist out there. We're not talking about that. We're talking a traditional public institution that exists out there that the majority of people who live in that state ends up going to. And is it really a scam, or are people really making bad decisions? Something you can argue. Something you can argue. My man Gage says, as always, I have no idea what you're talking about, man. This has nothing to do with China. Oh, so Gabe is getting it with our brother Omega Dreads Gaming Channel. Gabe, what's your take on all this, man? What is your take on all? Tyrese, great statistics, sir. 88% of millionaires went to college. Yes, 88% of millionaires went to college. We got Professor Black Ops that wants to come on and chop it up with us. Let's hear from Professor Black Ops and get his perspective on this as well, too, man. Professor Black Ops, how are you doing today, sir? How are you doing? Let me unmute you. Unmute yourself. There you go.
I'm struggling this morning, man. You set me back when you're talking about 100 push-ups, man. I was walking with the old ladies. I got to up my game.
How are you doing this morning, sir? How are you, man?
Oh, man, I can't complain. When you talk about college as a scam, I got to get my ass up on the mic.
Hey, you got people out here. You have people out here saying that college is a scam. You look on YouTube and type it in, Professor Black Ops, right? You got people saying it. You got your man, Bandman Kivo, who's a celebrity out here that's saying college is a scam, right? He has a point in certain aspects of it, but these guys are influencing the younger generation. And I wanted to make sure that we had a rebuttal to this whole thing and to share our experiences as well, that college isn't a scam. And for me, it wasn't a scam. What do you have on the subject, sir?
For a lot of people don't know, I'm actually a real professor in real life. So let's put that on the table. I teach at a local community college. My goal is to get young brothers into tech. And I've actually worked at a profit university called ITT Tech, was closed down. I actually worked with students that were homeless that was trying to get an IT. So let's level set that. Number one is college is not a scam. We both make big money. I make six figures. Shout out to my man before that. I love programming. I was a full stack developer, Java, Oracle, but I promise you, I make twice as much in security. So when we talk about level up, that's the next step, right?
Don't do it to him. Don't do it. Professor Blackhouse, man. Don't do it to him like that, man.
So, but like you said, I actually teach in Java right now. So I'm actually going to start a Java program for kids around 10 or 11. But no, college is not a scam. Now, my problem with college, and I do have a problem with it, is over the years with the free money, I think the price has escalated to a point. Like you said, if you're not doing something in STEM or engineering to pay back $100,000 or $80,000, you picked the wrong major. Correct. I thought I think the colleges need to be guiding students realistically and telling them what you telling them. You can't take out 60 and be an archaeologist. Right? This is a true story, though. You didn't see my comment. I'm teaching intro to Java. I have an archaeologist in my class because now she's trying to make real money.
See.
It's real, true talk. I think I'm gonna get her on my show to talk about that. You got me inspired. I might bring her on my show. But she's a real archaeologist, super intellectual, because I guess when you're digging in the ground, she's super intellectual, but she was broke as hell.
Yeah.
To put it probably. My thing is, I think we should move towards certs, get into college. Certs gets you on the job. Your job can pay you a degree. I believe if you go to local colleges, depending on your financial status, it's an easier way to save more money. You can go to college while you're at home. You know, I think back, like you said, I was lucky because I was poor and I ran track. I didn't owe money, but did I need to be on the yard trying to step, for 40,000? So there's a balance in there, right? If I look back on it, maybe I would have stayed home. But like you said, I made a ton of connections, a ton of friends. So, but I think you can do college economically. You could go to local college for your first couple years. Now you can go online and take your BS classes remotely. Save a lot of money. Then you could do because when I was in school, computer science was only 40 hours. I had to have 129 hours to graduate. So that's like 80 hours of philosophy, sociology, right? So those are some of the things I think college needs to do a better job of. Do you need to take those extra classes to be more rounded? Right.
Yes, I would agree with you on that one, Professor Blackhouse. There's a lot of classes that is in the curriculum that are absolutely pointless, and I would agree with that. Right. I mean, like that is, none of that stuff that I've learned in certain history and in certain classes that I've taken has really contributed to my career. Maybe what it has done, I would say this, Professor Blackhouse, is it's just giving me another way of thinking, right? And being open to other idea sharing. That's what I would probably say is the benefit of some of these classes is, okay, you hear something and you say, all right, well, okay, yeah, that's how it's done, or that's what they say. And just being open-minded potentially, but the reality of it, a lot of that stuff doesn't contribute to you making the money if you go down a certain field. And I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that, man.
So that's kind of my pushback with college, but I think it's a necessary evil. Like you said, I don't think it's a scam. And I actually worked with the university curriculum. I'm like, we need to figure out a way to adjust that, right? Because I teach at the associate level, and they go next to bachelor's. But like you said, are those classes necessary? Should we, at the end of the class, make sure they follow that up with the certifications and combine the two to make it, more powerful? So those are some of the things as an educational thing I think we need to work at as a university. So I don't say college is a scam. College is a little pricey, so you got to focus on what makes the money. Like my man said last time, sleeping on the couch. Shout out to him. My mama told me a long time ago, passed away in 92. Young man, you're gonna do a lot of shit in this world you don't like. So, right? That's why I tell people, man, my mom died 3 years ago. She always dropped those gems. You're going to do a lot of stuff you don't like, and I'm divorced. Stay away from fast women. Let's still do that information at 50 years old. So those are two things I try to focus on. But I think you're doing a great job. Shout out to Gabe A. Shout out to Tech G. We try to get the young brothers in technology through certs. That's the way. You can make six figures. I won't call it easy, but it's less friction if you do what you're supposed to do. If you get the certs, you get the connections. I'm trying to meet with a lot of gatekeepers, and I tell them straight to their face, we need to get some more black people in IT. My boss, we cool. She'll see how I whisper to him. I said, big boss, we got to get some more black people in IT. She start counting Indians. I was like, no, I'm talking about FBA, baby. No, shout out to my Indian brothers, but I need some black young brothers. She goes, oh, we don't have any of those, but you. I go, we got to get some more, big boss.
Well, and that's why we have platforms like this too, right?
Thanks.
Professor Black Ops says we have platforms like this to be able to share stories that you can make a lot of money in the tech space. It's ridiculous how much money you can make. And I can tell you this: if you go down the right path, cybersecurity, information systems, engineering, development, you're going to have an opportunity to do a lot within your lifetime. And at the end of the day, just make a huge amount of money. We got we got brother Jabron and Gabe coming in. So give me 1 second, Professor Blackside. I'm gonna let these guys in real fast.
Oh yeah,
I'm getting ready to let them all in. Brothers, go ahead and take yourself off mute, man. Jabron, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Thank you so much. And am I pronouncing the name the correct way? Is it Gibron or Jibron? How do you pronounce it, sir? Jabron, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. What do you have, man? What do you have for us today?
I think anything's a scam if you don't have a plan. I think that's just it. People, we always used to joke, people go to school and major in underwater basket weaving and then get surprised when they get a job. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? I went to the military, right? But when I went out of high school, my MOS was very focused. I wanted to work on computers. I didn't want to be a gun bunny. I didn't want to drive a tank, nothing. Give me a secret clearance, let me work on computers. And that's what I did. I applied for school while we were leaving Iraq. So always very focused. So I could never say it was a scam because I already knew what I wanted to get out of it. If you just go in there thinking it's the magic pill, the magic bean, like Jack and the Beanstalk, then yeah, it's going to come out as a scam because you didn't even know what you were looking for. How you going to find it?
That's a very good point. If you go into something without a plan, anything could be a scam. I would agree with that, Jabron. I appreciate that, man. And thank you so much for your service too, my man. Thank you so much for the service, brother. So tell the people, do you have a channel? Do you have a channel?
I do. It's Crimson Square.
Okay.
So we do digital marketing, web design. And then
look how fresh you're looking, man. You're looking great, my man. You're looking great on this Saturday morning, man. You out here like Kevin Samuels, man, but dressed up, looking good, man.
Hey,
I was gonna ask you too, what are you doing? I'm looking over here looking bummy. He suited up.
Nah, I'm not a professor though. I'm just
as a professor, I need to get on my suit coat. I'm not leveling up. Gabe over there looking athletic and smart, so I got to get my game up with these brothers, man.
For some reason, I just like the pictures from like the 30s. Like I look at the how black men used to be, like going to the grocery store in their suits, and I just aspire to get back to that level of dignity. I'm not like this every day, but I aspire to get like that, that level of dignity they had. Like no matter, they could have been working on their cars, right? They had on a hat, button-down shirt, shoes. It's like shit, and they went through way more than I went through. So I just try to, bring that back, bring back the dignity of the black man, and that's why I like Black Heights just so much. You normally, I don't know about all you guys' experience, but you're normally like the only black guy in your tech classes, and a lot of times, not only that, they expect certain things out of you. Like I'm not from the biggest city in the world, from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but I'm still from the city, and they expect me to talk through my nose and not have any bass in my voice and kind of acquiesce to what they expect a tech guy to be. But I am who I am, I'm still a soldier, still a city kid, but I can still do this tech thing too. And I don't need to blend in to do it well,
That's absolutely true, man. I appreciate you so much for joining the panel, man. Brother Gabe, what you got, man? Thank you for coming on, my man.
What's good?
Check this out. So we have a tech a tech executive. We got a professor. Right, a professor who does coding. He's in cybersecurity. We got the wonderful Jabron, who's been in the service, who's in the tech space as well too, looking like a sharp individual over here. We got Professor. I would say this. We got Gabe over here, who is the cybersecurity guru. If you go on his LinkedIn, this guy is well known in the cybersecurity space as well too. But this is a fantastic panel. So Gabe, what you got for us, man? What do you have for us this morning with the deep voice, man?
Man, this is my morning voice. It's got the waking up voice before I talk to anybody this morning. And my wife, she's out, man. She always goes on her. It's kind of how you mentioned before. She goes on her morning walk. She goes for like 2-3 miles all around the neighborhood, just waving at everybody. I'm like, oh, this Sometimes I join her.
Mhm.
And sometimes I just do my.
Don't be negative. That was me
thing.
waving to the white people this morning, Gabe. Don't
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like that, man. That was me this morning. I'm old, man. Don't be
As
like
always.
that, Gabe.
Yeah. But
hey, you
kinda
know,
wanna-
it's the courtesy
yeah.
thing to do. It's the courtesy thing to do, right? People
Absolutely.
wave. That's what happens. Yes.
let me just short. She waves at so many people that we ended up getting invited to a baby shower last week.
That is
they right up the
normal.
street. Yeah.
That, you know, I say this all the time. That's normal. A lot of people don't understand that. That's just normal.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when people don't wave, you're like, damn, like what kind of day they're having? You know what I
I'm
mean?
telling
Like what's wrong with them? Like, that's
and her
that's normal
friendliness.
butterfly.
Yeah, she was. So it was for another nurse. She's an MP, and her husband is a lawyer. And we're looking at bringing him on for some retainer services, right? So it's just like that friendliness is able to create more of a network. But anyway, get on the subject.
Go ahead, brother Gabe. What
Man.
you got
So
for us, brother?
what's so funny is that I remember specifically in undergrad, right? When I was in undergrad, and there were people contemplating, especially Black folk, right, contemplating whether they wanted to stay in college or whether they wanted to leave, or whether they want to go into some more challenging majors. It was always the conversation of, I don't really like math like that, or I don't really like science like that, or I don't really like these classes and everything. It's so funny because they always made an excuse for why college wasn't good or why the more difficult majors were not something that they wanted to go into. But now they make the excuse that college is a scam. You can't get a job without a degree. It's something that people are requiring, but you don't need it. Right. So it's like the excuses just shift from early college or getting into college to now post college, and they seeing that those opportunities aren't there. And this isn't for everybody, but it's mainly some of the experience that I've had. College is hard. You don't need that to now. It's like I can't get a job without college. So that's what I wanted to throw in there, because I remember a lot of my peers spoke that same stuff, and the results are different now. So
you know, it's true, right? I mean, like at the end of the day, right? People make excuses for their own failures in life, and that's what I think it is, right? Is for the people who really want to go out there and get it, they're not going to make an excuse. They're going to say, you know what, I have a path that I need to follow. At the end of the day, as soon as I get to that path, but I need to make adjustments, I do it. But a lot of people says, I'm gonna go down the path, and you know what? As soon as I hit that first stumbling block, I'm giving up. So now, you know, I have all this extra debt. College is a scam. There's no reason for me to go to college. And people were saying this that really have a lot of influence. And I'm like, why are they even saying that? Because first of all, they haven't even completed it. I would see if you actually completed. Now, there are some that did complete it, but they had opportunities in life that they probably did not go down, and they probably didn't create for themselves. That's just what it is, right? If you want to stay in a small town and you have a computer science degree and you're saying that you're not going to be able to get work, it's because you're probably staying in a small town. What are you doing to go to a different city? What are you doing to learn how to interview? What are you doing to network? What are you doing to build your own personal projects to sell yourself, right? A lot of people don't choose to think outside of the box. And I think in those cases, if they're the ones that saying college is a scam, it's not. College is not a scam. It's your failure to plan, as my brother Jabron said, your failure to plan.
And then people never think about the possibility of paying off student loans. They always say student loans, but I mean, you can literally break it down to like interest rates and what will be your monthly contribution, and you can compare that to the average salaries for your major post college, and then you can really put a plan to it even before you even start your undergrad. So you know, I don't think people really reach out to those resources that are necessary for them to really plan accurately. So you know, I think that's a problem.
Or get that GI Bill. I mean, both my parents went to Penn State, and you know, they were like, "Oh, we can pay for your college." I got an older sister. Nah, I just said I'll do my typical middle child stuff. I just do it myself. Joined the military, you know, did my time in there, and you know, like today's 9/11. Didn't expect that to happen, but you know, ended up making some overseas trips. And by the time I hit college, I was so locked in. Like I knew what real poverty looked like. I knew what real oppression looked like. Like, you know, I think Floyd Mayweather said it, like, all work's easy work, especially at this point. Like, seeing people really make their own shoes, make their own houses from the mud around them, and to go to college and have to stay up late to write a paper, too easy. Not an issue. I do this all day.
Right. That's the thing. Right? People don't get that opportunity to see the world from a different perspective. I think that's a huge piece of it too, Jabron, is when you leave the country, especially the United States, you really see how privileged we are, because our hoods are not are not really hoods. Our hoods is actually, luxury in some places. I'm like, that's just, it's the reality of you say, gosh, man, if they can make it here and go to college and get an education, get out, how come some of our people can't do that same thing? Right. Professor Blockhouse, you was going to say something, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback what Gabe said too. Is once I finished my graduate degree, like Gabe said, everybody told me, "Oh, you can't pass calculus 2 to get computer science degree." I was like, "Watch me." Like my man said, I worked at DOD for 11 years, so I work with a ton of GI people. And I tell people, if you're in the Army, you get first dibs to those jobs. So if me and a person with the Army's got the same qualifications, if they serve, they're gonna get that contract over me.
Right.
So a lot of people don't realize that. Then two is my employer paid for my master's degree after I got once I got settled. And a lot of employers do. They make you stay an extra 2 years, but hell, I wasn't going anywhere anyway. I was 24. I was building my chops up, so I was moving around. So those three things, was the setup. So like Gabe said, is if you have a plan, and I actually just kind of fell into it. They were like, "Oh, we pay for master's degree." I was like, "Well, hell, let me go get one if you're gonna pay for it."
Exactly.
And two is, and everybody on this panel know this: if you're a black dude trying to get a PhD, you can print money. There's some grants out there.
Pretty much. National Science Foundation, National Society of Black Engineers, the government, even if you're a civilian. Yeah.
Facts. They're printing money. I keep saying I'm going to get my PhD. I've been saying that for 10 years. I'm too old. I'm going to leave that to Gabe. He's a young man's game now. I'm shutting that down. I'm in my 50s, man. I'm shutting that down. That's all I got, man.
Well, we got John Gibbs says, did you guys do a lot of networking in college? I'll let you Jabron take that question.
1000%. I think, if you think about it, the things you learn in class from the books and everything else, you can learn that online now. The one thing you can substitute is that social experience, but you got to be open to it. Talk to everybody. I mean, I went to the second largest Penn State campus, not the University Park one, but we were part of the first freshman class there. I talked to everybody. I never been to a Penn State football game because that's not the campus I go to. I go to Penn State Harrisburg, and I was always like that. And so I knew everybody on my campus, from the administration to the freshmen to the people who work on the bathrooms, janitors and all. Just speak to them. It becomes easier over time. I don't know, his background. If you come from the city, it's not really looked highly upon to speak to everybody, but you got to follow what the successful people do, and they're great at networking. And so you got to get that into you. Brought the first social fraternity to my campus. That really letting me go to other campuses. I'm at Coppin, Morgan, Westchester, Temple, University of Pittsburgh, University of Florida. It didn't matter. And this is all during my college days. So yeah, take advantage of it. I mean, lock in, right? Because the goal is the goal. So make sure you get that work done. But network as much as you can with any and everybody, because you never know who you're in a room with until you ask them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, very similarly, right? During undergrad, my undergrad is in electrical engineering. So there was the National Society of Black Engineers, or NSBE, that was big on my campus. I actually joined the chapter, but not only that, I joined the regional board. So I actually ran for a position with the national organization. And from there, I was able to travel literally all around the country for free on NSBE's dimes, going to national leadership conferences, running regional executive board conferences. All these types of things were very, I think, impactful to increasing my network and also increasing my leadership capabilities. So, just being able to talk to a large group of people, being able to kind of talk one-on-one with individuals who are in leadership. We also had exposure to leadership for Fortune 500 companies who were sponsoring different NSBE events that we would be able to kind of take out to lunch. We might pick them up from the airport or something and just have that one-on-one time with them. So, I think that during college, it's a very good opportunity to network. It's something I've taken advantage of heavily.
Absolutely. Anything from you, Professor Blackhouse?
I guess I'm the odd bird out. Being the only child, and I went to a PWI, man, I was just like on an island by myself. Most of the brothers was in computer science. They dropped out. I was the only one last. I think 10 of them started. Calculus and them knocked them out. So, and Gabe, they know when you go to a PWI, most of the students in there are going to be Russian, Indian, one hard lot of black people. Because I went to, like I said, a PWI. So I really didn't start networking until I got in my 30s. I was just kind of like this one-man army, which was cool. I was the only child. So like I tell people, I want all the intellectual smoke. So I wasn't scared. You know, white dudes challenge me. They want to see if I'm real and legit. I want all the intellectual smoke. So I wasn't smart like Gabe. I didn't have no Nesbys. I wasn't driving people. I wasn't talking to people. I was in my room listening to Sade studying. Everybody thought I was sad and depressed. I'm old. I was listening to Sade and grind. That's all I was doing, man. People like, are you depressed? Nah, man. I'm just mellowing out before I can focus, man. So that's my life. You know, typical programmer. Mountain Dew, Sade, and my computer, man. I was banging out Fortran. Gabe don't know nothing about that Fortran. That was before his time.
I've heard about it. Heard about it at best.
So that's how I was doing original COBOL with the working storage section with Sade. So I was a little bit before Gabe. But that's
Not
what I
even
bring.
Sade,
I want to be the OG. I want to help them, and I want to support you guys. And anything y'all need from me. I told somebody in the chat, he was getting into cybersecurity. I said, if you got any questions, ask anybody, me, Gabe, and we got your back, man. That's my percent.
Yep. That's the thing about this platform, right? I mean, like the thing is we have so many dynamic folks that are in this space. And, you know, I say this all the time when I do these live streams is, guys, if I don't have the answer, guess what? I have a network that does, right? I can go to Professor Black Ops. I can go to Jabron. I can go to Professor Gabe. I call him Professor Gabe right now, too. Although he just got his master's, I'm like, Professor Gabe. But, you know, I'm sure he does some teaching as well, too. But I can go to these guys to introduce folks to them if they want to get into this space because, you know, although I may not have the experience in cybersecurity, I know a lot of folks that do. Although I may not have the experience in, you know, Microsoft Azure, I know a lot of people that do, man. And that's what I wanted to showcase in this panel as well, too, is that we have a dynamic group of people that are absolutely fantastic. They do great things. They're making a lot of money, and they come from all different backgrounds. And it's cool to be an engineer, man. It's cool to be a smart guy. I mean, like, look at the pads that we guys have. You see Jabron out there with the button-up suit. You see Gabe with a nice office. You see Professor Black Ops with a nice office. You see me sitting in the pad, guys. We all come from a pretty good background and the lifestyles we live. You probably can't imagine, to be honest with you, if a lot of folks who aren't in this space, they think that, you know, people who are in this space, they don't do well for themselves. Well, we all do well for ourselves. We just choose not to share a lot of it because we don't want to feel like we're boasting on a lot of people, but we do pretty well for ourselves, guys. I would say this. I'll go ahead,
my fault. I think we need to do that more to try to make tech cool. That's all I want to say. I think we need to boast a little more. I need Gabe to get the big watch shining a little harder. My man suited up. I think we need to boast more. Just to be honest,
I think that may be it. That may be it.
Well, look, on that point, because it's so interesting, because when you kind of look at how long and how far you've come and you compare it to where people are, right? One, in the middle of the pandemic, two, as tech jobs and automation are taking people's jobs out, as certain job roles are kind of going away. I don't know. I just personally, I always find it like I don't know how beneficial it would be to them, seeing that it's almost an insurmountable gap between how far I've come and where they currently are. So I don't know, but it's worth a conversation. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with kind of highlighting successes, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just raw thoughts there.
Well, you think about it, Gabe, right? It is a lot of experience that we have. I'm like, obviously, it's a dynamic range that we have in all ages on this panel right now as well, too, right? And sharing that experience, we've all had our lumps and bruises. I'm like, from like Professor Black Ops says, you know, struggling in calculus, but he stayed the path. That's one thing I would think that we probably all agree to. We have struggled with something and we chose not to give up.
That's true.
Right. And a lot of people do not have that mentality. It's like, okay, well, you know what? If I'm not going to pass calculus this time, I got to get it the next time. If I'm not going to pass this, I'm going to get it the next time. Right. Like Brother O'Shea. So I was talking to O'Shea on yesterday. Right. He's been in medical school for years. He just finished. But it took him years. And it's like he's making way more money now than he probably would as a doctor. Right. But he still decided to finish something that he started. Right. And that's a lot of people just don't have that mentality as well, too. But going back to what you said, though, is what Professor Black Ops said is, man, like maybe that is something that we need to do. Maybe we do need to bolster. But here's the thing. Right. I don't like that attention. I don't like to tell
Right.
people that I make a good amount of money. I just because to be honest with you, you don't have to do that in the neighborhood you live into. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about being a millionaire. Nobody talks about that stuff in your normal circles.
No.
Right. So you don't want to be that person that's, bringing that sort of smoke to yourself. Before you know it, you're inviting the energy that you really don't want around your house, your wife, or your kids, or your family.
Yeah.
So I choose, it's something that you gotta be careful with, man. And that's something that I always think about. It's like, okay, well, should I go out there and get a brand new car? Well, what's the point of doing that? I probably could spend that money on another rental property, so I don't have to ever work a day in my life again, right? So it's kind of like those are the kind of the things that I want to make sure that people get that opportunity as well too, because a lot of people who are out here stunning on people and have and showcasing money don't live that life.
Right.
No,
but they got all the attention. They got all the attention.
All the
hardened minds. Like the young rapper you brought up in there. He got the subs. He's got the Gucci belt on. He got the fly Coco Hans or whatever the new shows. Hell, I'm old. I don't know what they are, but that's my. So,
but then I also seen that a lot of people
something different. Go ahead.
A lot of people gravitate to those individuals because of what they look like, because of the money that they say that they have, right? But like, I wouldn't want somebody to gravitate towards my career field just because of the money, right? The money is great, right? Because but the passion and the ability to execute, the mentality that Antoine always talks about, that those are some more important intangibles rather than just the Gucci belt, just the car, just the watches and everything. So it's a fine balance between the two, right? Amplifying the successes, but also at the same time recognizing that people also aren't at the same point. So
like that saying, money talks, wealth whispers. And, believing that my whole life and never really wanting attention my whole life, still being an introvert, like it says it makes you more of who you are. So you get more money, you move to a more exclusive neighborhood. You're around less people because it's making you more of who you already are. They say, don't go broke trying to look rich, act your wage. It's just not in me to be boastful. But then you try to give people the game and then they don't listen. Now you're frustrated because you tried to help them, right? You see this coming a mile away. They didn't listen, and then it's like, okay, well, now you get what you get, but now they want help. It's too late to help you now. Prevention's better than cure. So it's like I've kind of made this resolve to my way of giving back will be through my example. And if you're looking for someone like me, you will find me. But as far as me trying to beg you or trying to entice you really to do the right thing, like it's like Gabe said, like I want it to be in your heart. Like you got to be, passion. It has to be something else behind it before money, because they're not going to hand it to you. They're not going to give it to you. You're still going to have to do some work for it. So I think that's even a setup, and if the money's the only reason, there's plenty of things you could do for money. And it's the one thing I notice in the city more than anything is shortcuts. But there'll be an open parking spot, they'll double park. You just got to go one car and park. And it's like that's the path to all destruction in people's lives overall. They tried to find a shortcut. I shared with you guys, both my parents went to Penn State. Well, I'm the only, until recently, I was the only college graduate out of my siblings, and it's three of us, because I saw what my parents did, I'm going to do that. My other siblings, they wanted to try to find a shortcut, and it just doesn't work out. You can't quit. You got to stay focused. I wanted to quit basic training. I'm sitting there watching these drill sergeants like, what the hell am I doing here? Like I'm about to hitchhike back to Pennsylvania. This Fort Benning, Georgia thing ain't for me. But I don't think I've quit anything since then. Because it was like, I'm already here now. I gave my word. It is what it is. And you got to have that resolve. And I think in any field you'll be successful. But tech gives you this flexibility, man. You could just be an octopus and be all over the place with it.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. That's true. We got Houston Phenom in the house. He says networking is key. Leadership in professional student organizations has been a game changer for me at Gay Bay 5 Deep, man. Absolutely. I say this. I don't think I even gave my input on the networking piece of it. It's important. Here's the thing that, I would say the earlier you do it, the more you're going to get comfortable with it. Right. And that's the thing. And the earlier you're around people of different caliber, different levels, different classes, because I think the U.S. is really built on classes, right? And it's about the amount of money that you actually make. And that's how you typically are going to get treated in life. And I personally think when you're able to see that eventually over time, you're going to be able to become adaptive. You're going to be a chameleon, and you're going to be able to get a lot of stuff done. And the earlier you do that, the earlier you expose yourself to something like that with the networking opportunities, you're going to see that there's going to be a lot of people that are willing to help you from every single background, not from your background all the time. It's going to be from every single background. And a lot of the opportunities, especially in the tech space, they're going to come from people that don't look like you, because a lot of people who look like us aren't there yet. And it's our responsibility to make sure that we're bringing people who look like us into that space as well, too, right? So we're that generation right now that has a huge responsibility to continue to push the path to make people who look like us, feel comfortable getting into this space, and also give them the game in how to conduct themselves once they get into this space. Yeah. And that's another piece of it.
That's a whole nother. Because they bring things from outside into the space.
Exactly. Exactly.
I got a quick story when you get a chance about that.
Go ahead, Professor Blackhouse. Go ahead, man.
This is it's a little later though. I want to say it's 2000. I'm working at a top 11 pharmaceutical company. We're in this meeting. Like you said, I peeped out what everybody did that night. Gabe's gonna laugh. I went out and bought some wingtip shoes because all the white dudes was wearing wingtip shoes. We come in this meeting. I'm in a dark suit. He don't know nothing about this. This young brother comes in a purple suit. Everybody's got dark suit on. Back then, you had to wear a suit to work. My mom pressed my shirt. You could cut the crease with a knife. I got the dark suit on. He comes in with this light purple suit. I walk behind him. I was about 32. I just pulled on his coat till I was just said, look around, man. I'm not trying to give you advice. Just look around. Next day, he came in a black suit. I winked at him. Yeah. Right, because he came out. He thought we were going to the club, man. I'm like, dude, there's VPs in here, man. What are you?
Well, y'all used to wear suits to the club, like what?
Oh yeah, man, the 80s, man. Yeah, man.
Oh, all right.
Look back at Keith Sweat. Look back at Keith Sweat was swinging, man.
Oh yeah, man. Hat with this.
Oh yeah, okay. He was back there. Yeah, I was pressing, man.
Gotcha.
Because when you broke, you got to look a certain part. Like we were saying, either you got the money or you got to fake it. One of the two. That's the last thing you said. I was trying to be a fake high value man. That's all I'm gonna say, Gabe. I was trying to fake high value.
Yeah, but I think the point that you brought out is read the room, right? That's such a it's so much in that, right? Rather than just like I'm gonna bring whatever I think. You gotta read the room and follow suit.
But a lot of guys don't want to do that, Gabe. They think they're selling out. They want to be them. They want to show their creativity.
Right.
And that just don't work. That just don't work, right? And I think a lot of people, you realize, okay, well, so you live in a neighborhood, right? The neighborhood has HOAs the majority of the time. And the reason why is because it has a standard. There's a standard that comes with it. And when you're in a room with people who are of certain caliber, there's a standard. Right, you can't bring that creativity to it. You want to a lot of the times, but there's a standard, and if you try to bring that creativity to it, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities in life, right? So you're absolutely right. Reading the room is very important, and here's the thing: you're going to have to follow suit until you're in a position where you can make the ultimate decision.
Absolutely,
right? And that's the piece of it that I tell people all the time, guys. If you play the game. Play the game, man. You gotta, people are gonna put you at, the person that has to collect balls initially. Okay, well, after you're done collecting balls, you may be able to start hitting balls eventually. Okay, well, eventually you're gonna if you stay long enough and you learn along the correct way of doing things, you're gonna be able to be at that GM seat, and then you can decide on the type of people who you want to bring into these positions, and then you can start to change the game. But until you get to that position, you got to follow suit. You got to follow order. And I think a lot of people just don't choose and understand that piece of the game yet. And that's something that, it's you got to communicate it as well too. It's standards.
Yeah, it's ego. It's pure ego, brother. Like you got somebody with 30 years in the field, and you think because you're fresh out of college and the idea is new to you, that you're going to be the one to implement it. And it's like, but there's a few things with that. And a good illustration of this, I was watching Anton Daniels, right? Mm-hmm. And he was telling somebody about his investments and the money he makes, and the guy was arguing with him about it, right? He asked this profound, simple question. He asked him, and how's that working out for you?
Right.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Oh, and how's that working out for you? Like,
Right.
yeah,
Like
now
that.
where's your results? So you
Mhm.
might want to get on board and follow the program and understand why the program is the way it is, you know. And that's the thing I loved about teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, someone sees something on UFC or they see something on YouTube and like, oh yeah, they showed me how to get out of choke this way. Okay, well, you try it your way,
Try it, yeah.
right? And I'm gonna make you go nighty-night. You know, and it's like
Mhm.
they immediately say, oh, maybe I should just listen. Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's harder to give people other examples of that in life, but it's this way for a reason. Successful
Yeah.
people, success leaves trails. All these people that a lot of people think are successful, they all kind of move the same way, right?
Yeah.
They're not paid on
Yeah.
salary, they're paid on bonuses. Why is
Mhm.
that? You might want to just do that as opposed to trying to be, you know, the pioneer.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And even speaking about first coming into an organization or a role, I remember not too long after college, I was working at a nuclear plant. So I was working as a nuclear instrumentation and control engineer, so nuclear engineer overall. But I was pretty much the lowest guy on the totem pole. I was probably like 23, 24. Everybody, the next person in my same organization was probably like 45 plus, right? So I'm the youngest guy around. They kind of treat me funny and everything. But it's like I was always the one to be the first to go and do something. Right. So one thing that we did a lot were like these plant walk downs. So we sat in offices, but I would have to walk down the plant in order to get some information to update a particular device or to get some readings off of a human machine interface or a PLC or something. Right. A lot of those 45-plus-year-old dudes didn't want to do that. They were like, I'm tired, my knees and everything. But I have my hard hat. I'll have my steel toe boots because that was the requirement. I'll go into certain areas because I'm not just looking at that as like, hey, I'm coming in and I'm trying to work, but I'm also trying to learn because it's something that they learn from doing those particular jobs, from walking down the plant continually, from talking to this plant supervisor, talking to somebody who manages those devices, talking to this VP over here or plant or plant manager. And I knew that I had to get that because I didn't have it and they already had it.
Right.
And so I would always be one of the first people to volunteer. Hey, I walk that down. Hey, you need to install this. Let me go ahead and do that. Hey, who do I need to talk to in order to do this and that? So it's this thing of like not coming in wearing the purple suit, right? But rather following suit, learning, and then really understanding the process to make myself more valuable to the industry. So that was definitely my approach there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when I first got at DOD, I was an Oracle. I've been doing it for 5 or 6 years, but a lot of times they want to put you at the lowest job. They want to check you out just to see if you're coming in on time. So I didn't even get the program. They put me on this thing called a generation team. Long story short, it was a big project, 5 developers in 5 states. They check their code in, and my job is to compile it and put it in production.
Okay.
The thing I learned with that lowest job is all the top guys got to give me their code, so I started talking to them. This guy cool today, he gonna be on my channel named Jan Bond, super smart dude, mean as hell. So if they messed up, he would yell at him. Somebody put something in it, wouldn't compile, I would ship it back out there. I said, hey man, your stuff is not matching with Pensacola, because we were doing DOD. I said, I think y'all ain't working parameters. You need to fix this. So now they start owing me favors, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm meeting all these guys. So, you know, I'm pinching them up. So when the contract was up, I had 5 other places I could go because I was cool with those guys. I helped them, right? But I started off with the lowest level job. People were like, are you mad? I'm like Gabe said, no, I'm going to start here because I'm going to learn.
Right.
Then, like I said, and I start meeting people, and then they say, oh, you can come program from us, or this your contract's in it. We got a contract open up for you, because I was helping people when I was networking. Like you said, I was throwing them bones. I'm like, Big Jan gonna get you, man. You better fix this, or your stuff ain't parameters not messing around with the, you know. So, but like you said, you gotta start at your bottom and work your way up sometime.
I think that's important, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give us an opportunity to wrap up. My computer is dying over here, but you know, there's an opportunity in every single opportunity you get, even if you start at the bottom. Just like Professor Blackout said, right? He saw the opportunity that he was in the position where he had the ability to see people's codes, and he had to talk to those people, and he leveraged that to talk to others, to network, and to showcase how good he was, right? And not only that, they, you know, once you do that, you start talking to people, they're gonna like you. You're a likable person. Before you know it, they're gonna be like, dude, like, he's a nice dude. Like, I want you to come and work for me. It's gonna create additional opportunities for you. So I think that was absolutely fantastic to say, guys. I wanted to give every one of us an opportunity to come out, to kind of circle back to the subject at hand, which is college a scam? And I'll let you have your final closings on this one, Professor Black Ops, and then I'll go to Gibran, and I'll go to Gabe. And I think I expect what all the answers to be relatively the same. But I want you guys to give your last words on it. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, Professor Black Ops.
Everybody knows I'm a professor in real life, so obviously college is not a scam. Like everybody said on the panel, with the cost of college, you got to be very specific of what you're going to major in, how you're going to move, and I think you at least need to have a 2 or 3 year plan. Even if your plan doesn't come to fruition, at least you know a direction you're trying to go. You need to get a STEM. You need to know what that job is going to pay, the possibilities of that job. College is not a scam. I teach at a local college. I think that's the way, unless you this super duper, super smart person or your family got on money. Start at a community college, stay at home, much cheaper. Then you can transfer to a big university when you're ready to jump in your major with those 40 or 50 hours you need to get that top degree. College is not the scam. You see all these guys up here with degrees. We the blueprint. I'm the oldest, so follow me. No, I'm just joking.
Well, shout your channel out to Professor Black Ops. Go ahead and shout your channel out, brother. Can you hear me?
Was that to me?
Yeah. You go ahead and shout your channel out too, man.
Oh, okay. I'll drop it in the chat.
Absolutely, guys.
Professor Black Ops.
Yes, Professor Black Ops, guys. Really doing some wonderful things. Cybersecurity space. Been in this game for a long time. Has had multiple positions in his career, and choosing to share his knowledge daily on his channel, guys. Go and subscribe to him. Gibran, go ahead and give us your closing comments, sir.
Yes, sir. More of the same. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance, and piss poor performance promotes pain. So it can all be avoided. Have a plan, execute on that plan, stay focused. The lumps are a part of the process. And very few people start off on top, and the only people that really start off on top are grave diggers. So unless you want that to be a profession, be prepared to start from the bottom and learn as much as you can, because you may be able to see a road that they overlooked or that they forgot about, and you can capitalize on that. And don't worry about fitting in. The great American philosopher Kanye West said, "It's lonely at the top, but the bottom's too crowded." And so don't be afraid to be on your own. And if you need support, you got people here, you got people all over the internet. Just reach out, and we can learn from each other.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for coming through, as well to Professor. Well, Brother Gabe. Brother Gabe, go ahead, give us your final your final words as well, man.
Kind of similar to what some of you all fellows have said. When I look at where I'm trying to go, I try to look at who is there already and try to look at their profile and how they got there. And just recently moving into management and consulting and cybersecurity, I still see those who are beyond me in my career field, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's having personal conversations. Part of every single one of those individuals' roadmaps has included a degree, right? A degree or two. And it doesn't make any sense for me to fight against something that is already there, but it makes sense for me to follow along and really to understand how I can leverage that and even make a better me based upon what their experiences are. So I think a lot of people, when they say that it's a scam, they're fighting against something that is a standard at the moment, right? Things, of course, are changing. There are many different ways to get education and experience these days. But in the near future, 10, 15 years or so, right? I'm the prophet or anything, but I don't really see the standard changing, especially seeing that my leadership, we all have degrees. And that is, so I would say, rather than fighting against the standard, try to make the standard work for you. Make it work for you and your career to move forward in such a fashion. Unless you don't want to go into anything that involves a degree, and that's a whole different story. But otherwise, don't say it's a scam if you don't have that experience and if you don't see the standard in where you're going. So
I agree. Well, guys, I think I've shared my opinion during the beginning of it, right? Obviously, I'm a person that is a product of going to college and have had multiple opportunities to do a lot of things in life. And not only that, network with some great people, even on this panel today. This was a random thought of mine last night. And I'm like, wow, this turned out to be an absolutely fantastic panel. guys, I appreciate you, Professor Black Ops, Brother Gabe, Jabron. Thank you so much for sharing the panel with me today. Guys in the chat, Tyrese, Stevie G, I really appreciate you guys. Blind Guy and his wife and their life. Really appreciate you. Go check them out. Great channel. And guys, thank you so much for rocking with us today, man. It's Saturday morning. I'm about to go and do some wife duties right now to get ready for this party.
He was knocking on the door right now. I'm like, all right, let me go ahead.
Don't nobody want me, so I'm gonna be by myself.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, you guys have a good rest of your Saturday, and until next time, y'all.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Yep.
Later.